Oh my gosh. I feel good today. It's weird. Is it weird to feel good? Maybe it's the sun is shining. All things are good. Okay. Let's see who our woman is of the day. I haven't been on in a couple days because mom is back from the rehab facility. So I have been dealing with nurses and just like full-time caretaking. So that's why I haven't been doing my videos. But we are back. Wow. So today, Anne Frank. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's a lot. And Sojourner Truth and Hattie McDaniel. No, Anne Frank came out on top, so we have to do Anne Frank. Okay. So we have Anne Frank showing up as the star. Literally, I started this conversation by saying I felt good. The sun is out. It's like the light at the end of the tunnel. And here comes Anne Frank. So as always, I'm going to read from the book. So this is a major arcana in the traditional tarot. 18. We've got the moon. Where is the star? There's the sun. The star should be before the moon. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. Okay, so Anne Frank is showing up for us. Anne Frank was born in 1929. She was born in 1945 in Germany. Dreams, hopes, faith, inspiration, innocence, peace. This is really good because I'm feeling this energy. I am wondering why Anne Frank is the star, though. I'm sure that I'll understand after I read this. When Anne Frank was 4, her father Otto received a job offer to manage a factory in Amsterdam. At first, he left Germany alone for the Netherlands to begin work and to find lodgings for his family. Now, I am going to Germany for work in August, and then I am heading over to Amsterdam. I wonder if I can go to the All right, anyway. However, after Adolf Hitler won the German election for chancellor in May 1933, Anne's mother Edith made moves to leave the country with their children and join Otto as soon as possible. Anne enjoyed life in Amsterdam. She attended a Montessori school where she made many friends and excelled in her studies. Anne's teachers and family noticed her writing talent and encouraged her to develop her gift. For Anne's 13th birthday on June 12th, 1942, okay, so she was a Gemini, interesting, her father, Otto, gave her a photograph album that Anne had coveted in a shop window. She put the album to use as a diary. She addressed her entries to Kitty, a fictional character from one of her favorite novel series about a spirited teenage girl named Jupe der Hul. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. Kitty was one of Jupe's best friends. In early July 1942, Anne's sister Margot, I don't know if it's Margot or Margot, I don't know the pronunciations, was issued a notice by the Gestapo stating she must be deported to a labor camp. Yikes. To keep her with them, the Franks went into immediate hiding inside Otto's workplace. Excuse me. Within the factory walls was a 3-story apartment called Het Achterhuis. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Achterhuis, or secret annex. Otto's co-worker, Herman van Pels, joined the Franks a week later with his wife August and their son Peter. 4 of Otto's co-workers assisted the families and became their only contact with the outside world for the next 2 years. It's interesting because, of course, I've seen the Anne Frank story. Growing up, I read the book in school. I'm sure I read the book. I've read this book more than once. I did not recall that they were in Amsterdam. Wow. Life in the annex was difficult for the two families despite the aid they received from Otto's coworkers who came to the bunker. Playing for Time. Has anybody ever seen Playing for Time? Leave two sisters, the sisters, Lynn Redgrave and Vanessa Redgrave, about the Holocaust. Old, but really good. Regularly with news, food, and other necessities, Anne journaled at length about her relationship with each of the annex's tenants, displaying both honesty and wisdom beyond her years. She shared a room with a later arrival to the annex, a dentist named Fritz Pfeiffer, and found him to be a difficult, curmudgeonly man to live with. Like most teenagers, she also frequently experienced tension with her mother. Anne wrote of her devotion to her father and confessed her crush on the teenager Peter Van Pels. Anne's walls were plastered with cut-out photos of her favorite celebrities. Wow. Which she sourced from magazines brought to her by the annex's guardians. So even in that environment also makes me think about the movie The Pianist. The Pianist with skinny cute. Oh my gosh, it'll come to me. But another heartbreaking film. But even in the midst of it, not but and even in the midst of it, she still was clinging to her youth. She still was interested in the celebrities of the time. So she had to believe that they were going to get out. Oh, God, so sad. Um, so sad. So she cut out photos of her favorite celebrities, which she sourced from magazines brought to her by the annex's guardians. In her diary, she wrote of her feelings on the war, her life in hiding, and her yearning to be a free citizen once again. There we go. She revealed her optimistic faith in humanity, writing in one entry, "In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart." Wow. In my keynote, one of the things I talk about in my keynote talks is that I was interviewed a few years ago, and the interviewer asked me what I thought about the future. And I said, in spite of everything, I believe in a bright future. I mean, that's what I believe. But man, it makes it hard. Wow. But we have to. We have to believe. I have to believe in something. On August 4th, 1944, the annex was betrayed by an unknown informant, resulting in German SS officers arresting the annex's residents who were taken to a transit camp in Hooghalen, Netherlands. Hooghalen. Makes me think about Van Halen. Interesting. What is their background? Eddie Van Halen. What's his background? And Alex. Welcome to my nightmare. This is how my mind works. My mind just like makes all of these weird references. Yes. Sure. Hang on 1 second. I have to move my mom's wheelchair. You're welcome. You need anything to drink? Yeah. What do you want? Water? Okay. Van Halen. All right. I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out. I'm curious. I'm curious about their background now. They're okay. Um, okay, so they were betrayed by somebody. The Frank family was separated a month later when they were deported to Auschwitz Birkenau. Edith, Margot, and Anne were imprisoned in the women's side of the camp. Maybe when I go to Germany, I'll go and I'll look at some of these places. At the end of October, Margot and Anne were once again deported, this time to Bergen-Belsen. Well, that's a bad one. Bergen-Belsen. While Edith remained at Auschwitz, never to see her daughters again. Edith escaped the gas chamber only to die of starvation in January 1945, a few weeks before the Soviet Red Army liberated the camp. Sometimes in the early weeks of 1945, both Margot, 18, and Anne, 15, died of typhus at Bergen-Belsen, where they were buried in a mass grave. It's a damn shame. Otto Frank survived the camps and made his way back to Amsterdam following the war's end, only to learn he was the annex's sole survivor. So the only person that survived was the father. One of his former co-workers had rescued his daughter's diary, which was left scattered on the floor of her room after the invasion. Thank God they had it, and returned it to Otto when he arrived in the city. Anne's diary terminates 3 days before the secret annex was raided with an introspective entry that contemplates a teenager's difficulty in navigating who she really is when others see her differently. She said, "I know exactly how I'd like to be, how I am on the inside, but unfortunately, I'm only like that with myself." Oh, I definitely get that. I definitely get that. Otto published his daughter's work, Het Achterhuis, The Secret Annex, in 1947. 5 years later, the first English language edition was published under the title The Diary of a Young Girl. Anne's diary has since been published in more than 60 languages, demonstrating the wide, enduring impact of her story more than 70 years after her death. The building in which the annex was located is now the Anne Frank House. I am definitely going to go to this Anne Frank house. Anne Frank maintained her optimism and youthful spirit until the end of her brief life, displaying great courage despite dangerous political and social climate. The star represents a beacon of hope and undying faith. An attitude of hope and optimism about the future can be what fuels you during your most difficult hours. This card signifies that you should hold on to your dreams. Hold on. Even if you think they're naive or childish, there it is. The star compels you to get in touch with your playfulness and allow yourself to daydream. Imagine what you might do if you were free from constraints. This card asks, how can you keep your own inner light bright during times of turmoil? Ooh. Where are your hopes and dreams? How can you bring them to fruition? That's interesting because I have a perspective keynote coming up. Thank you, Star. Thank you, Anne Frank. I have a perspective keynote coming up. And the person who's putting me forward for the job sent me the title today, and it was like Thriving in Service to Others. And that didn't hit right for me. It wasn't cosmic enough for me. But this thing about let your light shine down. Oh, you gotta let your light shine down. It's something about the light, and it's something about the star. It's something about not letting your circumstances dim your light. And that's the message. That's the message. That's the message of the star. Anne Frank, even during the Holocaust, trapped in a secret annex, still found a way to be introspective, to who knows how many lives, how many minds she changed, how many perspectives she changed from that small little space. So your circumstance does not have to define your circumstance. Your only limitation is your own mind Our own belief system, not your, our, mine, me. Our only limitation is what we put on ourselves. I love what she says here. I know exactly how I'd like to be, how I am on the inside. But unfortunately, I'm only like that with myself. The goal is not to let other people define us. That is the message of the star. And that is the message of the day. And that is fucking awesome. Thank you, Anne Frank. Thank you, Otto. You know, since I pulled these three cards, I think this is going to be Tuesday, Sojourner Truth. And then Wednesday, Mahalia Jackson. Hattie McDaniel. I'm going to do it like that. I might not even shuffle anymore. I might just go top of the deck. I might just go card by card by card. I might just do that. All right. Thank you so much. If nobody has told you today, you are loved. You deserve love. You are amazing just as you are. And I will see you next time. Bye.